you're going to do about $600,000 in revenue in your first full year in business here in 2025, right?
Yep. My whole theory was I vetted a couple guys that had similar kind of ideas, and I just thought you guys were the most credible and just like had the most track record. And then I basically just assumed that everything you guys said worked. We did about 200,000 in 6 months just last year. Really, for me, what worked was just like following the program rather than trying to like recreate every SOP and every script and every step of the process. I just really implemented the PVP process and just decided that this was a good business model that worked. Just did that, and it worked out incredible for us so far. I just wanted it to work. That's all I wanted. I wasn't trying to like recreate anything. I wasn't trying to like reinvent something in the industry. All I wanted was to make money in the painting business. Like that was it. It's pretty boring. And I mean, if you see what I'm doing, I'm just like here at my computer working. I answer my phone, go to some of my estimates, and I get the job done. But to me, that's what I was looking for, was just like a predictable system.
Hey everybody. So on this podcast episode, I had the privilege of talking with Kyle Hoorn, the owner of Green Diamond Painting. We mainly cover the Painting Business Pro course and how he succeeded within the first year just by following the systems the way they're designed. So Kyle, this year in 2025, he'll do just under 600,000 in his first year, and more importantly, he'll have a 30% net profit margin. So super well-run company. We talk about the PVP systems. We also talk about his marketing mix and specifically how to vet vendors when you're talking Facebook ads, Google ads, things like that, what to look for, how to pick the right one, and how to manage them. Packed full of value. We're actually going to do a part 2 because of just how valuable and how much we kind of went deep in a couple certain subjects. So hope you enjoy, and look forward to part 2 coming in about a month. All right, thanks so much.
All right. Welcome to the Painting Business Pro podcast. I'm your host, Ben Landusky. I'm here with a special guest, Kyle Hoorn, the owner-operator of Green Diamond Painting. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Ben. How we doing, man? It's good seeing you.
Good, man. Hey, I think it's safe to say also that the newest NPG partner.
Yeah, we just finalized that in the last week or so. So everything's great. I'm gonna be coming out there in January, work with you guys, and I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun, dude. I can't wait for the kickoff. We got you, Kara, and Sebastian are our 3 new partner. You probably met Kara Wolf.
Oh yeah,
she's incredible.
I talked to her at one of the last leadership events.
Yeah, dude, she's great. I think she was actually just on the podcast with Eric a few weeks ago. And then Sebastian Thomas out of Atlanta. Have you met him? He's newer.
No.
Okay, yeah, he's newer. He's a young blood. He's like,
nice.
I don't know, he's a youngin', but yeah, he's phenomenal too. He just, his first full year in business, he's, just making some great stuff happen. So anyway, that's gonna be super fun to be out here in January all together. Okay, man. So want to just jump right in. So we were just talking before the pod. So you're going to do about $600,000 in revenue in your first full year in business here in 2025, right?
Yep.
By the time people listen, by the way, it's probably 2026, but we're making this podcast on December 22nd. So you're going to do 600K, and then your net is going to be like 30 to 35% net profit.
Yeah. Yep. So, something like that. Look, those are 200.
I mean, look, for your first full year in business to bring home $200,000, on 600K revenue, like super great. Like that's, top tier level. So, just for everyone listening, especially for like new people or people who bought the course a while ago, but maybe they aren't following it. Like what advice do you have? Like how, Kyle, did you have such early and like really seems to be almost, not natural, but like pretty easy success, let's say, in your first year in business?
Well, it wasn't easy. I mean, it was definitely a lot of work. But I would think the biggest thing was just, so I came into the industry. I've worked in construction, like I've done roofing, framing, siding, like stuff like that. But really didn't have a ton of paintings. I've painted my house and a couple things, but like not a ton of industry experience. And I was just looking to start my own business about 18 months ago, and I was just looking at a lot of different things, and I just came across the PVP course, started watching some of the videos, and I thought there was a great opportunity here, and so I just purchased the course with you guys. And my whole theory was I vetted a couple guys that had similar kind of ideas, and I just thought you guys were the most credible and just like had the most track record. And then I basically just assumed that everything you guys said worked, and I was just going to basically go through the program. I went through it twice in about 2 months. I just like I ran through it the first time, and then the second time I took a ton of notes. I've got like a whole notebook full of notes. And then last year in 24 for like 6 months, we still closed like we did about 200,000 in 6 months just last year. Um, and really for me, what worked was just like following the program is rather than trying to like recreate every SOP and every script and every step of the process, I just really implemented the PvP process and just decided that this was a good business model that worked and just did that. And it worked out incredible for us so far.
Nice, man. So, Eric actually talks about this a lot. You said, like you just assumed everything we said is true. Like it's just like that's the right answer, right?
Well,
Or you said,
I mean, it was a considerable investment to go into PvP. So I was like, if I'm going to spend this much money, I might as well like listen to what they say.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not going to spend all this money and then go, but you know what? Like, here's the money. But by the way, I'm going to go do my own thing. Like, I was just like,
yeah,
I'm making this investment and what I'm exchanging is money for knowledge. And I just like, I'm going to assume that everything they tell me works and I'm just going to implement it. And then, we'll test it, see if it works. And it's worked out great. So we just kept implementing more and more.
yeah. Well, look, dude, it's one of the primary kind of traits, if you will, of people who are super successful that we study, and the people in our business that are successful. What I mean is, you can take something on and just give your all, like fully kind of trust fall yourself into, for in this case, the PvP program, and just give it your all. And what we've found is the hard part about that, though, I found, Kyle, is like as entrepreneurs, we're contrarian. Like we like to find we like to like find where things are wrong and kind of go against the grain. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. We have a lot of members who like buy the course, but then follow like half of it and try to do the other half their own way, just because of that contrarian mindset. I mean, I messed around with it way back in the day. Like I didn't follow the sales system for a long time until I finally was like, okay, this thing works. Um, but
Really, let me touch on that real quick. Is I'm
yeah,
not even perfect at the PvP system. I still like can improve and get better, but like the general framework is there. But it's like you don't even have to do it perfect for it to work. Like you have to the better.
right.
I find that the more I implement it, the better results I get though. And every time I
Yeah,
sway from it, I'm like, oh, it's not working, and I kind of come back to it, and I'm like, oh, this keeps
yeah,
working, and then I go do my own thing, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't work too well, and I come back, and
yeah. Well,
so
it's just for the listeners, like it's good to just, this is what there is to extract from what Kyle's saying is, whatever if you're reading a book, right? If you're, Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time is a book we're very much invested in and using a lot of what he says. Like, Eric did this, the Flow Research Collective and just took on that work like fully. It's like whatever you're doing, consider taking it on fully
yeah,
and soaking it all up, because you can always drop stuff later, but it's better to like hop into something and yeah, just fully immerse yourself in it, for whatever, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, as if there is no other truth, as if everything that is said in
yeah,
that book or in that course or from that coach is the truth. Like do it that way, because that's where you're going to have the most success, as opposed to, it's the easier way, or the kind of the default ways, okay, I buy a course or I read a book and I'll implement some of it, or maybe even the majority of it, but I'm not going to do these few things because I don't agree with it or whatever. And it's like that, it's usually where the pitfalls happen from what I've found, especially if you talk about the PvP course, just as our example. It's like people come in and they do like half of it. It's like, well, they do the sales system, but they don't do the pre-closes, or they do the production system, but they overpay and they kind of just like, whatever, tolerate bad subcontractors for a bit, versus like, look, just try to follow it to a T for like 6 months and just see what happens. And you can always, it's not like it's a perfect system. It's not like it's a perfect course. Nothing is. Buy Back Your Time from Dan Martell. Phenomenal book. It's not a perfect book. So it's like, but that just has you so much more successful early when you do what you're talking about. And I mean, the evidence is 600K revenue, 200K profit,
that's sure. Yeah, no, I agree with it. Like, I think for me, I just believed it was going to work, and I just kind of like went with that. I guess initially, my thought process when I joined PvP was just like, hey, they've got a system. If I follow it, it's going to work, and like
Yeah.
that was pretty much what it was. And so and I just wanted it to work. That's all I wanted. I wasn't trying to like recreate anything. I wasn't trying to like reinvent something in the industry. All I wanted was to make money in the painting business. Like that was it. And so I was like, this course says if I follow it, I'll make money. That's all I want. So I'm just going to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It's almost too simple. And that again,
Yeah.
like for people listening, it's like it is a simple concept. The challenge is following it. And the challenge is like do everything the course says. Like just, trust Kyle. Don't trust me.
Yeah.
Trust Kyle. Like, yeah.
I think the biggest thing too is like, is especially people that are like, because you think about it, the people that are going to take the leap into entrepreneurship, they're typically more ambitious. They're like leaders, maybe a little bit more like focused and driven. And part of that like character trait is you kind of trust your judgment and opinion more, just because you're like, hey, like I'm the kind of person that's going to take risk and bet on myself and do these things. So I think then even when you come, like, think that just translates even into, hey, I've got this course, but I'm still going to kind of pave my own way inside of the course. And it's like, it to me, it doesn't make sense. It's like, yes, you
Mm-hmm.
want to pave your way like outside here, but like when I'm grabbing this information, I want to absorb it so I can go out and carve out my own path, not carve out my own path inside of a training program. I don't know if that does that make sense.
Yeah, totally. It does.
So that's what
And
that's what I found was just I was like, hey, I want to grow this business. I just
yeah,
want to implement like it's kind of like an operating software. I want to implement this software into my business so I can make better decisions, and
right.
that's it.
Totally. Yeah. And that doesn't, just for everyone listening, like this is so good. It, it's not like that's going to be the forever, right? So like at National Painting Group, like we are constantly testing and tuning our systems as far as like leaders go. But when we bring on new employees, like new sales reps, new PMs, like we have the exact systems, like follow these things to a T. But then but there's nothing's ever perfect. So like right now we're testing a couple things with the sales system. I'm not gonna like mention it, but like we're testing a couple pretty big things with the sales system at Foothills because that's what we're gonna do. And so I have like my top leaders testing it so that like we know it's a controlled environment as much as it can be test. So it's not like always follow and get in line, but if you hop in the course, like if you just follow it, like once you're at, honestly for an owner, 60% sales rate, 50% amount paid, like 50% payout to painter plus materials, like hit some of those key metrics. And when you're doing that really, really super well consistently, okay, then maybe it's like, hey, how do we can we tweak this thing a little bit to get from 60 to 65% sales rate? Like once you've kind of figured out some of the foundational baseline things, like there's always room to optimize and improve. Like the PPP system's not perfect, and we're always improving that as well. But people skip over that part first. They're like, they get a little success and like, oh, I'm going to try it this way now. And it's like, wait a second, just hold on. Like, even if it's 6 months, like do it really just with integrity to a T for 6 months, then try to iterate off of it. I would even
Yeah,
say a year. For the PPP, I would say for PPP, it's like do it for a year. I mean, you could even do 2 years with the PPP course before you start to really iterate. But like bare minimum, give it like 6 months. Do it. I'll go all in on it for 6 months and see what happens.
Y-
So,
yeah. I got a couple thoughts around that. I mean, the one of the biggest things I thought was to build, like for you guys at Foothills, you guys are doing like 10 plus million a year.
yeah,
That is
we'll do 8
Oh, okay,
this
you're
year.
at 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. Sorry to hear that, Ben. Uh, uh,
Elkhorn's gonna do 8.4. So this is the first year Elkhorn has beat Foothills.
oh,
Which is
Hunter's
super
letting you know
bittersweet.
that.
It's like Hunter's CEO of NPG as well, but CEO of Elkhorn just has done a phenomenal job with that business. First year it's beat Foothills, which I have mixed feelings about. Overall, it's awesome, but I'm also like the competitive part in me. Is like, oh, got a battle next year then Foothills versus Elkhorn. But anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
that's fun.
Yeah,
Just a couple thoughts around that. I mean, the first thing is, I actually don't watch like a ton of sports just because I got kids and a business now. I used to watch more, but when you hear about all these guys that are great, like Steph Curry, he's not like he's just shooting 3 pointers. Like that's all he's doing. He's just like
yeah,
practicing the same thing over and over and over. Like, and you start to see all these people that are greats. And I think sports is a really just easy example. Like they're not trying to reinvent something. They're just
right.
going through the repetitions. They know the system, they know the process, and they're trying to like tweak a few things, but it's just I'm shooting free throws and I'm gonna shoot 1,000. Like that's all. They're just going through the repetitions so they can get that form to be really smooth and flawless and perfect. And that's where you start to see guys like Steph Curry on the Warriors that makes like almost every 3-pointer he throws up. It seems like. I mean, it just keeps going in because he's practiced it so many times. And so for me, that's what I realized for like the PvP course was I'm sure to get to 8 million is very different, but I was like, to get this business to 2 or 3 million in revenue, it's probably fairly systematic and predictable.
Right.
Like, it's not, I don't need to reinvent anything. I don't need to like come up with something new. I don't need to tell Ben and Hunter something they've never heard of. I just need to like follow this script, hire a couple guys, run my marketing, run the sales script. And 2 or 3 million with the profit margins is like a pretty decent income level. And so that's kind of how I looked at it was just follow the program. It's predictable, systematic, and then just go through the repetitions. And so that's pretty much all I did. Like I wish I could say I was like super genius and I had like this cool, awesome idea, but it's pretty boring. And I mean, if you see what I'm doing, I'm just like here at my computer working. I answer my phone, go to some my estimates, and I get the job done. And I just like it's actually pretty boring. It's not like super exciting, and But to me, that's what I was looking for was just like a predictable system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. I love that. It is. Consider if you're not like the boringness that you mentioned. It's and maybe it's even more just like repetitive. The repetitive nature of success. Yeah, I mean, how many countless shots has Steph Curry, practice shots has Steph Curry taken and continues to take?
Yep.
I mean, Kobe was like the guy famously, like, he's shooting free throws earlier than everybody else in the gym. I
Yeah.
mean, and yeah, it's the boring consistency with the compound effect equals insane results. It just does.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for underlining that because it's something we, shout from the rooftop, so to speak, constantly to NPG partners, employees, and everyone at PvP. It's like, hey, just follow these systems. Not because like everything we say is gold and we know all. It's like, no, we've just failed at it for 15 plus years. Eric, like 21 years. Me, like
Yeah.
16 years now. Holy shit. Like, so it's like, that's a combined just between him and me, like 36 years of success and failure, a little success, failure. It's like, you don't have to. Like that's fine. Like you're already a member, so you don't have to follow it. Like fine with us, but
we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, like, man, it works because it's what we have found, and we've pretty much gone down every single failure rabbit hole or fallen into every failure pothole you can from 0 to 4 million. I mean, really 0 to 5 million at this point. So it'd behoove you to just not make those same mistakes. But some people just have to learn the hard way, and I'm myself included. Like sometimes I got to touch the hot stove myself, even if someone tells me it's hot. And that's kind of an entrepreneurial thing too. But the less you can do that, the more you can be like, all right, I trust. Like you said, dude, it's like I'm just going to trust and assume everything they got in here is gold, and let me see what happens. And like, yeah, look at your results. Pretty awesome.
Hey, Eric here. Pretty much every person that you've heard on this podcast or you listen to is someone that we work with at Painting Business Pro. We've coached some of them. We've even become business partners with. What we do at Painting Business Pro is help people who are starting or growing a painting company grow an amazing business with great profit while enjoying an amazing lifestyle along the way. And transparently, our goal is that for the right people, we actually end up making a minority acquisition to help you grow your business even further as a partner of ours in our company. If you're someone who's serious about growing your company, living a great life, and you want some help doing it, we love what we do. We're very good at it. We do it in our own businesses right now. Head over to paintingbusinesspro.com and hit apply now, and we look forward to talking with you soon.
Let's get into those a little bit. Just tell me quick, what's your marketing mix? And specifically, like, where do you get most of your revenue leads from?
Facebook, Meta
Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And are you running them yourself, or you got a vendor?
We pay a vendor.
Okay, great. And for those listening, is it effective? I mean, what's your cost of marketing on Facebook?
Like with the like management fee, it's like most months 10 to 11%.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad with the fee as well.
I mean, sometimes we have like a bad month and it'll shoot up to like 12 or 13%, but like trending, I think we're like 10 or 11% for the year.
Okay. And what's like, so for those listening, interested in hiring a vendor and or are working with a vendor and they don't have that kind of success, what's been successful for you with meta ads, and then also like in kind of managing and working with your vendor, what's been successful?
Like you're talking about like ad type?
Well, I'm talking like I want to know because there's some people like, okay, I hire a vendor and just like hope they do well, and then there's some people who hire a vendor and micromanage. What's your philosophy, and what do you do in the realm of like managing that vendor? And I say managing kind of in quotes.
I don't talk to them a ton, like
Okay.
maybe once or twice a month, maybe twice a month. I mean, I had a first vendor. They were like all right, but I started to realize that the biggest thing with the marketing companies, you have to realize that their skill set is marketing. And so part of that is you can be sold something that may or may not be as true because they're good at marketing.
Yeah.
And so I realized the person I was working with was just a little bit newer, just wasn't giving me results. And it's like real quick, within 2 months, I just cut them and hired a new vendor. And just, I mean, honestly, just vetting people that know what they're doing. Like kind of like for you guys when I went to PvP, I was just looking for someone that knew what they were doing to grow the business. So same thing for the vendor was just like who looks like there's out here getting results for painting companies that can run ads. And so
So that's one thing you look for. They're getting results for painting companies. How else do you vet a vendor, marketing vendor specifically?
yeah, I just asked to talk to a couple of their clients. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It was just like, hey, like before I sign up with you guys, can I talk to like two or three of your clients? Just, ask for like a 5 minute phone call. Just want to like ask, somebody that you're working with and get their opinion. And don't
Yeah.
just do one because they'll send you their best client. Get a few and let me
Yeah.
talk to three. Let me talk to three people. Jump on the phone. And now the vendor they refer like I'm now on the other side of that. So like I get those phone calls now.
Yeah.
I've
Nice.
had 6 or 7 at least over the last 6 months, and yeah, it works for me. It's been great. I've referred a couple people to them, and I think for me and then going back to Facebook, I think when you're trying to go from zero to build your business, you really just need volume. You can knock doors, you can put out flyers, there's a lot of things, but Facebook really, if you can just stomach the ad spend on the front end, it can just give you so much volume to really get you that momentum. It's like you can go knock doors and you can definitely start to like to get some jobs going, but if you just front load a couple $1,000 into Facebook, you can, I mean, real quickly get to 30 to 50 grand a month within a couple months. Like
Yeah.
if you're willing to spend the budget and if you have a good sales process, obviously you have to be able to sell the jobs and do that, but you can go from zero, 20, 30 grand, like within a month or two on Facebook. And at that point, especially if you're a newer business, it really just starts to give you that momentum. I think the hardest thing is when you have like no jobs and you randomly get a lead and then you have a job and then you don't have any jobs. It's like, it's really hard to keep good subs. It's really hard to get that momentum. It's hard to just get that velocity. And so for me, I understood. I was like, I just got to get to this baseline of like 25, 30 grand a month just to have momentum so I can keep crews working, keep them consistent. My phone's ringing. And so now I feel that I'm actually in the flow of it day to day and week to week because just like anything, if you're only getting one lead a week, it's like you're just not in practice enough having enough of those calls. You're not in front of enough customers. But if you're doing 5 or 10 estimates every week, like you just start to get into this motion of like momentum where like, hey, I'm just doing this all the time. And so that would be my
Yeah.
biggest thing. That's why I went for
Yeah.
Facebook is I really wanted to push volume like right out the gate.
Yeah. Good, man. That's really good. Yeah. And just I want to come back to marketing, but just to underline what you said there, because it's really good. It's, having that consistent volume, gives you that practice for sales, right? So like estimates, if you're doing like 1 or 2 estimates a week, and then maybe this week you did 6, and the next week you do 2, sales takes a lot of repetition. And, by the way, you should be role playing the sales process a lot if you're
Yeah.
new, even if you're not new, like role play, role play, role play. So yeah, more estimates, like more at bats get you better, faster at sales. And I say this all the time, but owners really just, if you're, 50% is good, but if you're an owner of a business, like you should be pushing 60, 70% sales rate. But anyway, the point is like what Kyle's pointing at is marketing is not just about like, okay, optimize cost of marketing, which it is important to know your numbers. Don't get me wrong, but the volume to be able to get that increase with sales, which then increases production, which then has subs actually stick with you versus like, I
Yep.
don't know if Kyle's going to give me a job this week. It really does. It's kind of like the whole, like the dam breaking, that visual of like the flood coming, so to speak. It's that the dam is the marketing. It's the lead flow,
Yep.
getting that rocking first is, super critical for your business for sure.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like, so that's why I think, I mean, meta ads are great. And I always hear people
Yeah,
going, oh, well, I want to diversify because one day they won't work. And I go, that's great. But today they're working. So,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. You don't want to be, whatever it's called, pigeonholed or too reliable on one lead source. So it's not like, it's like, yes, start SEO, maybe dabble in Google ads. Sometimes if you're really good with lead services, they can work if you can do speed to lead like instantly. So it's like, yeah, don't be, stuck with one, but yeah, it is working right now. So go there and just observe and make sure you got a couple other things still in the loop or
yeah.
on your kind of marketing loop. Real quick, going back to the vetting, the marketing vendors. So just for everyone, so it's uh, are they getting clear results for painting companies? Is one thing you look for. You talk to their clients when you're vetting a vendor, up to three, or get at least three of their
Yeah. I mean,
clients
you
to
can,
talk
I
to.
mean, you don't want to like exhaust it. I mean, three, I mean, at
Three's
some
good.
point you got to take a leap of faith and like,
Yeah. Anything else you look for with a vendor?
just, I mean, I try to get like clear with them, like metrics, like, like what are you guys targeting here? Like, what's going to be success for you guys? And ask them because now you
Good.
can have notes. And then when you go back and talk to them, you're like, hey, you guys said we were going to get, Facebook leads between $50 and $70 a lead. And we're at 150. Like, this isn't what we talked about. And you can now,
Yep.
you just need something to keep them accountable to. And cost per lead is like that key metric. And so I get clear on cost per lead and then cost per estimate.
Okay, I'm glad you
Um,
said that. That's our
those are
main
the
thing. Is sorry, so for everybody, metric got to get clear on the metrics, the KPIs before you start with a vendor. Like, what are
Yep.
they measuring? And then, yeah, for something like Meta Ads, Google Ads, cost per estimate, is critical. That's actually the main number, Kyle. We talk to our vendors about like cost per lead. They're always going to talk cost per lead because they love to say, well, look how low your lead cost is. It's like, yeah, but if my conversion on those leads is only like 20-30%, because half of them are painters and some of them are spam. I don't care. I'm not as interested in that. I want to know
Yeah.
like cost per appointment because I can measure my whole business off that. Like if I sell 50% sales rate, then I know, cool. I know I can just deduce all the numbers from that. So we're
Yeah.
very clear with vendors. Like you can measure cost per lead for sure. We're fine with you telling us that, but you have to measure cost per estimate if you want to work with us. Like we want to know cost per estimate, cost per appointment that is set by our team.
Yeah. So that's like, yeah, vet them and then just get some metrics. So that way in a month or two is like, it's pretty black and white numbers. It's either, yes, it's above or below. It's pretty easy. And that way you can have, constructive, conversations with them. And then you can just show them why it's not working. You say, look, dude, like we said, we are going to get cost per estimate at 150 to $200. We're at $500. Like clearly this isn't working. We're way off. Or it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I know we said 150 to 200, but you're at 204. You're like, okay, like that. So we're pretty close. We just need to tweak it down a little bit. And that way you both can measure and just measure success.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good. Really good.
Can I
What,
touch one more thing on Facebook though? I really think is super important for people is
yeah.
I find that Facebook ads are kind of more on the more like expensive marketing in terms of like cost per marketing.
Yeah.
Like there's like referrals. Referrals are free. I mean, almost free. I mean, and there's a lot of other
Pretty
things like
much. Yeah.
a yard sign you put in front of a job. A yard sign costs $5. Like I mean, but it's definitely on the more like expensive, higher cost side. But to me, when I looked at it, was because there was so much volume. Whenever you talk to people that have been in business for a long time, a lot of painters that you'll talk to go, "Oh, half my business is referral, half my business is repeat customers." The only way you can get to that point is you had a lot of past customers. And so when you start to like think about your business, like, hey, 3 or 5 years down the road, you're like, hey, if I can get to 25%, 30% of my business is repeat and referral business, that'll lower my cost of overall marketing a ton. And the only way for me to do that is I need to front load a lot of customers right now. And so when you're thinking about your marketing, it's like you really want to be below 10%. But for me, and I know you're probably not going to like me saying this. My first year, I was okay with cost of marketing up to 15%, just because I didn't have a lot of overhead. I wanted to work it down, but I was okay to go up to 15% because I really wanted enough volume now to push the momentum of my business, because you can get those repeat and referral clients down the road. You can start to push your review count on Google. You can start to build
Yeah.
your portfolio of pictures. And so
Yeah.
that was one of the things too, is like, it is a
That's
bit more
good.
expensive, but I think it really helps you when you think like 3 to 5 years down the road too.
Well, exactly. That's you should be running this podcast, dude.
I thought
So
about, honestly, man, like I looked at the PVP MVP file and I realized how important the numbers were. And so I'm like numerically inclined, and I don't understand as well as you guys, but I started to really like see the picture and vision of the business through the numbers. And when you start to look at
yeah.
that, it's like, this is why, real quick, this is why everybody, this is why they say track your numbers, because when you really
Oh
understand
yeah.
at a fundamental level, like you can think about and like project your business forward. Like
Yep.
it really
Yep.
is incredible.
If you track your numbers, just by tracking them, you actually make more money.
Yeah.
Like, just for everybody, just trust me on that. Like, if you just know your numbers, you don't even have to take any action from that. I mean, naturally, you take different action when you just know your numbers in immense detail. So, and you can just hear Kyle. Like, Kyle just knows his numbers, and I actually am okay with you saying 15% cost of marketing because of the second thing you said, which is it was in the plan. Like, for everyone listening, like Kyle's like, look, 3 to 5 years down the line, like it's like, what's your intention for what you're building? Well, my intention is to build like a juggernaut of a business, let's say, to get to, like, let's just even say 5 million. Okay, well, I'm brand new. I'm going to start with a 15% cost of marketing, whatever. And that's obviously, maybe that wasn't the goal, but I'm okay with that because I'm building up my pipeline to build up my clients, to build up my Google reviews. Like, that's all fine because there's an intention there. It wouldn't be fine if it was like, yeah, that's just how it is. I'm just going to have to spend, in my market, it's 15%. Like, anyone who tells me that, I just reject that. That's BS. But if it's a intentional plan, whole different conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you real quick, at the end of 18 months, we have 109 Google reviews right now. So I was like
Boom.
super intentional, because we were a newer business where it was like, again, thinking through the numbers of this, was pushing a ton of volume through Facebook marketing. And then every customer, I was like, I really tried to go super hard on the customer experience, just like what you guys say.
Yes.
And I really started to
Yes.
understand that. And then I really pushed to get that Google review, because now that I can run up my Google reviews, my Facebook marketing, it actually helps that, because now I can reference my reviews, or people
Yep.
see our ads, then they go look at our reviews, and it's like this whole cycle. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, part of my plan in the beginning, the first like 18 to 24 months, I was okay with a slightly higher cost of marketing, because I think 3 to 5 years down the road, like now people say, hey, I saw you on Facebook and I checked out your reviews and you had a ton of great reviews. And so now my lead cost is actually getting lower. And it's just like this whole like self-fulfilling prophecy. And then one
Yep.
other thing too about Facebook, which is really hard to track initially, is I've got customers now where like we work for one guy, he refers me to his brother, and this is a real customer, and then he referred me to his dad. Then the brother called me back to paint his house. And then the first guy moved and then called me to paint his house. And so it's like one Facebook lead. If you do really well on that, you start to get this referral and repeat business, where it's
Yep.
obviously you can't attribute that exactly to your cost of Facebook, but like that over time, when you think about your business in longer than 1 month, but you think about it over a couple years, like
Right.
you can start to see how the investment on the front end into your marketing can really pay off.
100%. So we got to do a part two. Are you cool with doing a part two in January?
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, because we're not even scratching the surface. But just to close on that note, for no matter, so especially for new people, if you're in like 0 to 1 year of business, um, maybe it's not meta. Like, so meta ads is definitely one, and that works for our companies too. Like, we do a lot in meta ads. For you, maybe it's door to door, or maybe it's. I mean, there's not too many more that can kind of scale like that. So, but you have your one marketing channel that's getting you volume, like Kyle's talking about. Um, if there's one other thing you must do, it's you've got to focus on your product, aka your service and product, aka your client experience.
Yep.
So, like, that's it. If you're, because that's one of the biggest mistakes we made at Foothills is we got good at sales. We were good with door-to-door marketing, but we just neglected our product for several years. I mean, for really, it wasn't like we had a bad product at Foothills, but from the first moment we started Foothills, Eric started in 2010. I came on like 6 months later. We were just like, I mean, I was still in college. Eric was trying to figure out what not, like he didn't want to do painting. So he was like trying to do all these other businesses. We really neglected hiring the best top-notch subcontractors and holding them accountable. And it's still to this day, like has impacted negatively our business. Cause there's just some people who are just like, they had such a bad experience, they won't work with us again. So now we have a 30% return client referral rate now, and we've very much been working on that for the past 5 years, and it's made a huge difference. But if you're brand new listening to this, if you start a business like what Kyle's talking about and you just focused on your client experience, not to mention getting lawn signs up at their jobs, dropping off flyers and like 50 to 60 homes around there. Like that's a whole nother thing you're talking about that can produce, that will produce more business. Like do that if you're brand new, for sure. Make a custom fun flyer with your face on it. Like do all that, those things. But even if you didn't do those things and you just focused on, people were just blown away by the customer service and care you exude and by the final end product, you will get so many more return clients and more referrals faster than you think. Like it's not going to take a couple of years. I mean, it'll just get better, but like you can literally get, Sebastian talked about this in his podcast. Like he's already getting return clients and referrals, and he's been in business like not even 7-8 months. So that's the power of focusing on your product. And I just tell you what, like most companies, most of your competition isn't focusing on that. They're focusing on optimizing marketing, which is not the way to optimize marketing. Is like have people blown away, like have your clients be raving fans about you to all their friends, family, and neighbors. So I just want to like friggin' underline that because it was perfect what you're speaking towards.
Can I just tell you 2 quick anecdotes and we'll wrap this up about that?
Great. Let's hear it.
So we just did a job like literally last week, and I had the estimate a couple weeks ago, and she's like pointing out a couple issues. And she's like, okay, I want to paint this area. And I was like, oh, it looks like your house was like just painted. She's like, oh yes, there was a company here like 2 weeks ago to paint. And I'm like, immediately I'm like, why am I here? Like, why is this guy not here talking about this next project? And she was like, it was a terrible experience. Like there was such a breakdown with the whole process that she's like, I'm looking for a new painter. Like she wasn't even, the guy was there 2 weeks ago. Like she wasn't even calling him back. So just real quick. And so for us, just the good process. And she's like, oh my gosh, this was so much better. And then the second thing about that is when you do, like, if you give someone a really good experience and a good process and they refer you to somebody, and there's this customer in my mind I'm thinking of, she was really hesitant to hire a painter because she actually got screwed by a contractor and he ran off with like 20 grand for money, which was just horrible. So she was really hesitant to hire us. We came out there, gave her a great experience. She was like, wrote us a great review. She gave us all she bought us lunch and chocolate. And I mean, she gave us a lot of stuff. And like a month later, we get a call from a person, and the lady didn't tell me, but she's like, oh, I want to get an estimate on my house. And so I go out there, give her an estimate. And at the end of the estimate, she's like, oh, hey, you painted my friend's house about a month ago, but I just want to see what your process was before. She's like, your quote's actually about $400 higher than this other quote I got. But I know my friend that you did such a great experience, so I'm going to go with you even though you're a little bit higher. And so like just right there, like, I mean, and there's a lot more of those, but those two just came to mind initially where it's like, and I mean, this was like a $7,000 job, right? So she's like $400 on a $7,000 job. She's like, I would rather have certainty of a good experience than trying to save a couple $100.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we don't battle people on price. We're very clear with our clients. Like we're not going to be the cheapest. Like it's just, you really do get what you pay for. And it's like that's the power of referrals and return clients is like price becomes like the third most important thing, fourth most important thing on the list.
Yeah.
And it's worth it because it's not cheaper to hire the cheapest painter most of the time. It's not cheaper. It's a pain in the ass a lot of times, and it doesn't last as long. So like if you look at if you break it down over a 10-year paint cycle, it's like, well, yeah, if my paint job lasts 10 and theirs lasts 7, I think ours is probably actually cheaper, in that sense. But whatever. Hey man, this has been really awesome. Yeah, I'm sad to cut it short. For those listening, I'm going to have Kyle come on I'm going to make you come on again. We're going to talk. So we'll chat more because I want to hear about your sales. I want to hear about production. Like we really just, and we didn't even talk all about marketing, but for those listening, hopefully this was really helpful with number one, follow the systems, follow the systems, follow the systems, and follow the systems. And then number two,
and follow the systems.
Yes. And number two, marketing, meta ads, what to do when you vet a vendor. Probably even more important than that, though, just hitting on this last part about like your product and your service needs to be one of your main focuses, no matter where you're at in business, right? So, Kyle, thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for being on.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the show, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a quick review for the podcast and what you gotten out of it. It helps our show reach more people and inspire more people. Thank you so much.